Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Hollywood Reporter. It was published on March 22nd, written by Paul Bond. And before we get into it, let's look at the title here, and I'm going to tell you how I feel about this whole situation. As layoffs arrive, Disney and Fox staff voice frustrations. Now, these are pretty much people that are in upper to high-end management. These are not the working stiffs at this point. Because a lot of those there are going to be people that are laid off or let go, fired, however you want to look at it, that are the working stiffs. But most of these people are management. Because Disney already has their management people that they like, and you got to trim a lot of the fat. Now, they're going to get rid of some of their people in this as well. Now, these are people who make shit tons of money. Shit tons. In comparison to the average American. And there should be sympathy for them. These are people who are going to get, instead of just getting fired, they're going to get a severance package with, what was it? It was 2 weeks of severance for every year they've worked for the company, with 2 years maximum of a severance package. So, I mean, hell, you're there 20-something years. You get over a year's severance. If you're there 25 years, you're going to have almost a year's severance. If you can't find a job in a year or invest that money into a business or something, that's on you. I'm sorry. This is just ridiculous. These people. And of course, the Hollywood Reporter wants to portray this like we should feel for them. And the funny thing is these reporters don't make squat compared to these people they're saying that we should feel for, type of thing. Because most of these people are management that are freaking out right now. Multiple employees say that Disney has been less than forthcoming about who will be let go and when. Well, yeah, because, they're going to streamline the two companies. Both sides are going to see losses. Yet, we should feel bad for these people. These are the type of people that would have told, someone in the, who was a coal miner or, someone who worked in a factory. Something like that would tell them, oh, they should learn to code. Now the shoe's on the other foot and we should feel bad for them? No. Not at all. What comes around goes around. Karma is a bitch. These are the type of people that look down the nose at the people in the Rust Belt. Doesn't it suck that they now have the same type of stuff that they have to deal with? Huh. It's poetic justice. At Walt Disney's shareholder meeting 2 weeks ago, CEO Bob Iger spoke of the long-term value inherent in the company's pending acquisition of most of 21st Century Fox. We will hit the ground running as soon as the deal closes, he told attendees. The flowery language, arguably befitting of such a monumental deal, was typical of the comments coming from Disney for more than a year as regulators slowly approved the partial merger. Yeah. See, the funny thing is they've kind of played it safe and nice. They did their social justice bullshit. I'm kind of hoping, that Iger has said enough is enough, and they get rid of that dumb bitch who totally screwed the pooch with Star Wars. She should be axed. Anyone pushing the social justice crap, they should be like the people that are gone. Because the idea of the Disney is to make money. It's like any business. And what the get woke thing, it literally created a statement that is true. Get woke, go broke. You get woke, you go broke eventually. And that is what will happen to Disney. So I'm kind of hoping that they're the ones that are getting cut out of this too. Nary a public word was spoken about layoffs, but less than 2 days after the $71.3 billion deal officially closed at 2 minutes past midnight Eastern time on Wednesday, it was clear that hitting the ground running means, at least initially, lots of lost jobs. What did you expect to happen with this merger? These people honestly thought that they weren't going to do this? I knew this was going to happen the second it was mentioned, because you have two companies that are merging into one. You don't need multiple different people doing the same goddamn job. It was common sense this was going to happen. Today I hate everybody, says one nervous employee who worries for his job. I hate Disney for buying Fox. I hate Fox for selling. I hate the politicians for allowing it to happen. Now, personally, I don't think the merger should have happened. But you know what? It was allowed. I knew this was going to happen. I have, with the layoffs and stuff, these are people that are in management positions. These are people who made good money. These are people who are going to get a severance package that's better than what any other American would typically see. Why should I have sympathy for them? Part of the frustration multiple employees tell The Hollywood Reporter is that Disney has been less than forthcoming about who will be let go and when. Regarding severance, employees have been told they will get 2 weeks' pay for every year served, with a maximum of 2 years severance pay. That's more than fair. And so what if they've been less than forthcoming? You never know. That might cause people to actually bust their ass and do their goddamn job, hoping that they don't get axed. Then maybe they won't. Jesus Christ. These people in Hollywood want sympathy for them, when these are the same exact type of people that look down their noses at middle America and say, learn to code. Why the hell should someone who would, who's from that type of crowd get sympathy from the very people that they see themselves better than? That makes no sense. But yet the Hollywood Reporter's like, oh, you must feel bad for them. No. Says one Disney employee, we feel like we're the ones who have been acquired because the people at Fox know what their severance packages are. If they are going to get let go and nobody at Disney and nobody at Disney knows anything. No, they know. They just don't want to announce it yet. I'm sure they have a good idea of who's getting axed. They do this to cause people to get a kick in their ass and actually do something. And then they use what their previous performance was, if they stepped up, how much they stepped up. They weigh all these things into deciding who's going to get axed. Because it might change their pre-decision at this point that you're one of those ones that would get axed. If you do something like that by actually stepping up. People are panicking, and rightfully so. Nobody's telling them anything. It's what they do is not your fucking business. If they decide to let you go tomorrow, that is their prerogative. They do not have to tell you. They do not have to give you a heads up. They can just decide tomorrow to say, see ya. Oh, by the way, here comes security. They're carrying a ream paper box, a case box for paper reams. That's going to be there for you to take all your personal effects, put it in, and they're going to escort you off the property. They have a right to do that. You don't have a right to be told what they're going to be doing. For these idiots with social media, because I'm sure these are the same type of idiots that are going, oh, it's a private company, they can censor who they want, are the same ones going, well, you have to tell me what you're doing to Disney. It's ridiculous. Indeed, Disney still hasn't disclosed an official number of jobs they plan to cut. Analysts estimate between 4,000 and 10,000, though... Wow. I know a lot of, a bunch of those people are like gaffs and work, key grips and, stuff like that. But the Teamsters are going to look out for a lot of those people. I hate to say it. I'm not a fan of the unions and I'm not a fan of the Teamsters. But the AFL-CIO Actually, no, they've sold out people before. But yeah, I'm no fan. They've got representation to look out for them, though. But a lot of these people are redundant management. I hate to say this, but why should we feel bad for those people? You know, the working stiff. I mean, mind you, people who work in the movie industry tend to make a good living regardless if they're a key grip or, you know, a lighting guy or a mic guy or a cameraman. They make good money. They're still going to get a severance package. It's not like they're just getting told tomorrow, fuck you, you're gone, and they're not getting anything. Though several employees say the number being floated among people in the know is closer to 3,000. Yeah, okay, so 3,000, even better. Among many of the assets Disney purchased was the Fox Film and TV studio, where several in senior leadership were given notice throughout the day on Thursday, including 20th Century Fox Film President of Domestic Distribution, Chris Aronson, President of Worldwide Marketing, Pamela Levine, Co-President of Marketing, Kevin Campbell, and Chief Content Officer, Tony Sella. Yeah, see, all these people are in upper management. Yeah. They don't need redundant positions. They don't need another president of domestic distribution because they're going to be rolling Fox film, the 20th Century Fox Film part of the business into Disney. They don't need someone doing a job that someone already in Disney's stable, we'll say, is taking care of. The same with worldwide marketing. It's the same type of situation. These are positions where they've already got people doing the job. An employee at Fox Studio Lot described a revolving door of execs going in and out of a conference room staffed with Disney HR. That's expected. You know, it's funny because in the 1980s, this type of stuff happened with, like, you know, average workers being revolving doored into the conference room with HR. Now that it's these people who thought they were untouchable, we're supposed to feel bad for them. This is literally the Hollywood equivalent of, like, the press and Learn to Code. It truly is. It's hilarious. It truly is funny. I'm sorry. I don't know why I find this fucking hilarious. Others at Fox getting their walking papers included International Distribution President Andrew Cripps, Executive VP of, I'm assuming, of Corporate Communications, Dan Berger, Executive VP of Legal Affairs, Bob Cohen, and Executive VP of Publicity, Heather Phillips. Yes, these are all Executive VPs. Oh my God, these are all vice presidents and shit. We should feel bad for these people? Are you kidding me? One employee on the TV side told THR how disheartened the television employees were at witnessing the carnage in film, but later the axe began to fall there as well, with 20th television president Greg Medell let go. Yes, these are all, like, high-ranking people. These are all high-priced, high-paid people who are getting a big-ass severance. Disney also laid off Fox Consumer Products boss Jim Fielding, and sources say that about 50 U.S.-based staffers in that division. 5 have received pink slips. I've never seen anything like this from any company, says a Fox employee who witnessed Thursday's drama. That's because you've never worked in a company where this shit went on. Shut the fuck up. I have no sympathy for these people. I truly don't. You know, like I said, I didn't agree that this I disagree with the merger. I don't think that something like this happened. To me, this was like the idea of when Coca-Cola sold Columbia. All right. I didn't think, and I was a kid and I understood that Sony buying Columbia, you know, Columbia Broadcast, you know, Columbia Pictures, all that, which became Sony Pictures, and, you know, which is CBS. And I knew that was going to be a bad thing. I knew that it was going to lead to certain influences being foreign influences. And the Japanese, at least, were kind of hands off. But they did throw their weight around when they felt that they needed to. in certain interests. And that shouldn't happen. Now, this is a different story because you've got like a mega merger, monopoly type situation going on here. And the premise is the same. It should not be happening. I mean, I'm a libertarian, but I also understand that in order for capitalism and limited government to happen, corporations are not people. The founding fathers understood this. They understood corporations unwielded like large amounts of power. That's why they only wanted them to be created for public works projects and then dissolved. They wanted people to operate businesses in their name so that they could be held legally liable, which would, in theory, keep them more in check and keep them operating more responsibly. So, I mean, you've got a monopoly situation here. You might want to have regulators step in and go, well, I don't know about that. If someone else wants to buy them, okay, fine. And I'm a libertarian saying that because I understand that in order for it to survive and to flourish and to grow, you have to limit certain things like corporations. I'm a minarchist. This should never have happened. But you know what? I don't feel bad about the people, high-paid people getting fucked over by it. Karma's a bitch. You know, these are the type of people that were going, oh, those evil MAGA hat-wearing Trump supporters. They wanted to get jobs, so they voted for an evil racist. You know, they were thinking and saying shit like that. So now, they got to say, you know, hasta luego to their jobs, you know, or arrivederci, you know, au revoir. And they want us to feel bad for them. These are the same people, like I said, that would look down their noses at middle America and go, they should just learn to code. And now they're getting a taste of their own goddamn medicine. Disney has said all along that it intends, due to the merger, to save $2 billion annually by 2021, and such rhetoric usually means jobs will be lost. This is what happens in mergers, explains Northlake Capital Management founder Steve Brinberg. It's partially the point as cost savings boosts the financials. Yes, and also you don't need multiple people doing the same goddamn job. If you've got someone in Disney doing it, why do you want to have the Fox person doing the same exact fucking job? Do you want to have two offices with two groups of people doing the same exact thing and be paying twice as much for the same exact thing when you can literally have the one office do it? Of course not. That's how you run a business. And that's definitely going to boost the financials. Meanwhile, over at Fox Corporation, which now consists of assets Disney did not purchase, including Fox News Channel, Fox Business Network, and the Fox Broadcast Network, CEO Lachlan Murdoch announced to employees that all of them were owners of the new company, as each of them would be gifted between $1,000 and $3,000 in stock, depending on their years of service. Yeah, see, I gotta give the Murdochs credit for that. They were stupid to give up the large chunk of the business that they did and keep the broadcast television side of it when it's in decline. You know, television, is in general in decline. But look at what they're kicking their employees: $1,000 to $3,000 in stock. Now, I doubt it's voting rights stock, but still, they got stock. One of the biggest surprises Thursday was Disney said it would shutter Fox 2000, the label famous for mid-budget films like The Devil Wears Prada and Hidden Figures. Disney expects to complete production and distribution of Fox 2000's The Art of Racing in the Rain with Kevin Costner and The Woman in the Window with Amy Adams and Gary Oldman, and perhaps other movies in the works at the label. You notice those are like chick flick type movies? Huh. Fox 2000. They used to actually do some pretty decent movies, like action movies and shit too, back in the day. I'm honestly angry, shocked, and really, really hurt. As a lifetime fan of all things Disney, this is difficult for me to say, but I think the shuttering of Fox 2000 is going to go down as one big mistake the mouse has made in an otherwise flawless strategy, said Marty Bowen, producer of Fox 2000 titles like Fault in Our Stars and Love, Simon. Now, they might have been smarter to have kept the label. I mean, it did make some movies that made some decent bank, that made some very, respectable numbers. If they could keep the mission of the studio the way it was, keep the Disney involvement to a minimal, and just let it do its thing, it would probably be a good thing for them. But, I mean, I understand where they're coming from with that, They want to have their own shit. It was kind of like the idea of, like, back in the day of certain mergers were the idea of for intellectual property. When it came to company mergers, that's why you would see, like, back in the day, you'd see a lot of companies liquidated. You'd have a company come in, buy them, take their IP, and just, sell everything else off. This is kind of what they're doing here, because, I mean, if you look, you have Disney with the idea of they're trying to reassemble the Marvel properties. And this allows for that. They're buying back these properties in part. To them, it's about intellectual property more than anything. It's not about the infrastructure. It's not about the growth of the business, because they're literally streamlining things down. They're literally laying off people. This is about getting back or getting new intellectual properties that they've wanted. Everything else is kind of gravy, because they know that they can make millions upon millions upon millions. We're talking hundreds of millions, billions of dollars off the Marvel franchise. But they got to keep the SJW shit out and stuff like that. But previous movies are if they're any indication, even if they move into phase 4 and they can avoid that. But they, have these even moving in with these second string characters, we'll say. If they can avoid the social justice crowd, they can still make a shit ton of money there. They've, have other IPs that I'm sure that they're wanting to get from Fox that have been sitting on shelves. Movies that have had issues being made, or, the director's backed out, whatever. So you have that there as well. You have other intellectual franchises that Fox has put out that Disney can continue or reboot or do whatever the hell they want with. So, I mean, to me, when that's their driving motivation, at least that's how I see it, the intellectual property side. Yes, they're getting a bunch of shit on infrastructure besides, but they're going to streamline a lot of that. They're going to get rid of a lot of it. Like they're closing down the Fox 2000 brand studio, we'll say. So, yeah. That's not their biggest concern. Their biggest concern is the IPs, I think. Like I'm saying. Bowen adds that the 2000 bungalow... oh, that's right. That's what they call it. The 2000 bungalow is a safe haven for filmmakers. A place where laughter and tears coexist, and where the first thought was always, what's best for the movie? Really? I know efficiencies must be achieved, but when two behemoths become one, I know efficiencies must be achieved when two behemoths become one, but we can never forget the importance of creativity and passion play in the process of making great movies. We're talking Disney here. Okay, you've got a maniacal money-making mouse going, we need to go and make as much money as possible. Let's get the Marvel titles. Let's merge with Fox just to get them, because those are going to be worth hundreds of millions individually and billions of dollars altogether. That's what's going on here. More so than getting the infrastructure. They don't care about a successful studio like Fox 2000 in this, because it is a successful studio. It's a successful brand. It's a successful outlet that they could roll into Disney, but they're not going to. This is about, like I said, IP more than anything. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.